That's what you really want, isn't it? Shall I just do like a 10-minute video of him? Ah! Oh dear. Relax. Relax. Looks like it's going to be one of those again today. Hello! There's nothing in my hands. They just smell like face cream. So today's video was requested. I haven't even started. Today's video was requested by one of you lovely lot on my Instagram. Which Instagram was it? This one. It was this one. And I've reworded it a little bit. I think she said something like, what are the things that don't really matter on the wedding day and what I don't think matters. Although, yeah, I could do a video on that. That's a bit mean. I don't want to do a video saying what I don't think matters on your wedding day and therefore you shouldn't do it. So, I think I'm just going to do a top things that I actually think that your guests don't care about and you probably shouldn't care about either. But it's not just what they don't care about. Realistically, it's what they don't give a crap about. Depending on how sensitive you are, insert your own title for this video here. These are the top 6 things that your guests don't give a damn about, a crap about, a bouquet toss about, a darn about, a shit about, a flying Lexington about. So I'll jump right in with the number 1 thing that I think I see my brides stressing and agonising over, and there's really no need. Chair covers and linens. There's so much choice now. The amount of different fancy chair covers, fancy linens, sequin tablecloths, sequin runners, lace-edged tablecloths. When I got married, there was just 2 types of chair cover. So like the stretchy or the non-stretchy, and then you could just have a ribbon around it. I only got married a couple of years ago, but it's changed so much since then. So now there's like all different types of ribbons and different bows and different knots and different ways to drape it. Realistically, your guests aren't really going to notice. So long as the chairs look nice, fit in with your colour scheme, that's really all they're probably going to notice. And let's face it, when people are sat on those chairs, you don't really see them anyway. So if your venue has already got quite nice chairs, I really wouldn't stress about chair covers. If you wanted to pretty them up a little bit, maybe cut cost and just put some like ribbon around the back of it, or if it's got like struts that allow for it, just weave some ribbon through it. Really, you can save yourself a lot of agonising and a lot of money by just having a white tablecloth with a nice centrepiece. Please don't stress about chair covers and tablecloths because it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, and who is really going to notice? Second one is canapes. I did this because I was imagining going around with trays. Canapes! So this is a bit of a time dependent one. You don't always need them. They are not just the go-to thing. If you're having a later wedding and you're going straight into your reception and you're having a sit-down meal, you probably don't need canapes, because on what normal day would people just eat constantly all day and have a 3-course meal and have a buffet or a hog roast for their evening meal? Never. That never happens, along with eating a wedding cake. So really think about the timings. You might just be able to skip them altogether, so problem solved. From what I've seen, I've done a couple of weddings where I've actually helped serve the canapes. They've just needed an extra pair of hands just to run around with a tray when we've got, you know, quite a few hot canapes that are going to be going cold. So I've grabbed a couple of trays and gone out. I'd say 2 people have probably asked me what flavours they are, and that's normally because of a dietary requirement, not because people actually care about what they are. And there always seems to be a couple of guests. I am normally one of those guests at a wedding that will just eat them no matter what. So when you've got a couple of trays and you've got some left and you need to get rid of them, you just go find that guest and go, eat these, because they're going to be thrown in the bin. I wouldn't stress too much about the different flavours and the pairings of your canapes, and if it's going to go lead well into your dinner, and if it's going to go with the wine or the weather, or if you want to do canapes, just keep it simple. Obviously you know your guests, so you know if you've got vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, whatever kind of dietary requirements you've got. So just maybe stick to like 3 different types of canapé, because honestly people really don't care. People will just grab them off and they don't know what they are, they don't really care what they are, they're so teeny tiny, if they don't like it, it's gone in a second. Save yourself a bit of aggro, save yourself a bit of money. The third thing is Prosecco versus champagne. Do your guests really know if it's champagne or Prosecco? I'll bet you a bottle of champagne that they wouldn't. I couldn't tell the difference. No way. I think I actually prefer Prosecco, but I don't know if that's just my brain hardwired into it's a lot cheaper, so you've got to like it more. But you couldn't give me a glass of each and I would be able to go, oh, yeah, that's a £60 bottle of champagne all day long. I wouldn't have a clue. I've had some weddings, actually I've had quite a few weddings, where for the speeches they'll have champagne just for the top table and then Prosecco for everybody else, just to make it a little bit more special, or if there's a particular bottle that you wanted to have, you could just have that for your top table. For your drinks reception, for the speeches, if you're having quite a big wedding, that mounts up because you only get probably 6 flutes out of a bottle. So if you're doing that for speeches and for welcome drinks, you do the math. Stick with Prosecco. Really? No one knows. No one can tell. And you know what? If somebody really wants champagne, they can go to the bar and buy it. The fourth one is menu cards and other miscellaneous stationery, pieces of card, pieces of paper, pieces of faff. Again, I've done some lovely, beautiful weddings and the bride has spent hours to get these beautiful menu cards on each place setting to tell the guests exactly what they're going to be eating and with what sauce and what's gone into the marinade. They don't care. If you've given them a menu choice, they already know what they're having. They might have forgotten, but they're not going to have changed what they like in those few months. And from the time that they sit down to actually get their food isn't that long, so they're soon going to find out what they're having. No one is sitting there reading that menu card. No one cares exactly what is stuffed into that chicken breast. They're going to find out when they eat it, and they're probably going to love it, so I wouldn't worry too much. And like the order of service that people will put on the chairs for the ceremony, I can understand when it's a church and they need to know what hymn to go to, but most churches have got the hymn numbers up anyway, so you don't need to print those and leave them on the chairs because they're going to get left behind. It's going to be a waste of money. People just need to know when to turn up, when you're getting married, where to be. They don't need all the faff. I almost think it ruins the surprise when you've got who's doing a particular reading or if you've got anything special in the ceremony. I think it's kind of nice for that to just happen. Obviously tell the person who's doing the reading, but I think it's kind of nice for that to just happen and the guests aren't expecting it and they're going, oh, they're doing a reading next. It distracts them. It takes their eyes away from you. It gives them something to fiddle with. And for the ones that can get easily bored, they're looking at how long is left. And I just think they're a bit of a waste of money. Again, to have them done nicely, properly and looking good, it costs. So do away with it all. Also, without preaching, it's just waste. It is complete waste. Even if they can be recycled, some venues don't recycle them. They just grab it all up in a bag and just throw it away. It's a waste of your time, energy, your money, and it's just waste in general. Fifth one, little bit of area for debate on this one. It's those itinerary and timings boards. So some of my couples this summer have had big boards or big easels or crates or something with the timings for the day and what is happening when. Your guests really only care about when they're getting fed. They know there's going to probably be a first dance, speeches, food. They don't need that marked out for them all to look at. Another point that is quite important with these that stresses me out is if you run late on any of it, they're going to know. So I always say to my couples, no one knows how this day is meant to go apart from me and you. If you've gone like 10 minutes over on this, no one knows what's meant to be happening and when, so don't worry about it. But if you've got it up on a massive board when they first come in, they're going to know if things aren't running to time. I had a bride whose dress ripped open. It took us a good half an hour. We literally had to sew it back shut. There was no way of repairing it. I still don't know to this day how she got back out of it that night. And I was the only one that hadn't had a drink, obviously. I was working. So I had to try and stitch it in without stabbing her repeatedly in the back with a needle. Anyway, I digress. We were gone for about half an hour. The guests didn't mind as much. They just assumed she was off having photos with her bridesmaids because the bridesmaids, me and her, had all pretty much disappeared. So we were half an hour late running into the speeches and then straight into the cake cut. But no one knew because there wasn't a huge board up here saying exactly what time we were going to do all these things. So there's a lot more flexibility in it. And really, like I say, your guests just want to know when they're going to be fed. Last but not least, number 6, which I think personally, and I can back this up, is one of the most useless things at a wedding. The most unnecessary thing at a wedding. Favours. Now, I'm not saying all favours. I'm not doing complete across the board, none of you should have favours, they're pointless, no one gives a crap. I think favours that are consumable, so food or drink of some sort, they're great. They tend to all disappear. And even if somebody doesn't like theirs, somebody else is going to have it. So they're great. But I think Favours, if they're not something that somebody can eat or drink, tend to get left behind. Now, I've had some really beautiful, handmade, pristine, intricate, gorgeous, ornate Favours that have just been left behind, and we don't know what to do with them at the end. So when we're clearing down the tables to make it into your reception, we just put them all into like a little box or a little bag somewhere, and then it's just for the couple to take home the next day. These were to give to your guests who've now just left them behind. It's quite awkward to then go back to them next time you see them and go, oh, you left these, because they left them behind on the day because they didn't give a crap. And again, when you are giving one of these favours to every single one of your guests, that's going to add up. I'm not saying this for all of them. I'm not doing it across the board. If there's something quite cheap and cheerful, quite easy to do, that really represents you as a couple, that's great fun. Do it. But if it's something that you are racking your brains and stressing about, thinking, oh, I need favours, you don't need favours. Your guests aren't going to give a crap if there's no favour, because you're feeding them, you're watering them, you're keeping them entertained, they're having a really nice day out, all courtesy of you guys. If it's not something you can eat, if it's not something you can drink, if it's not something that's easy, cute, funny and cheap and represents you well as a couple, or not something that they're going to use afterwards, don't bother. Don't stress yourself out. Don't spend your money on it. Favours, kill them off. No one needs them. No one gives a crap. So that was my 6 things that I don't think your guests really give a crap about, and you probably shouldn't either. If there's anything else that you think should go on the list, let me know in the comments, or let me know on Instagram here and here. But I made it through a whole video without this one causing... Oh, I feel really bad. I made it through a whole video without this one causing absolute mayhem. So I think he's sort of getting used to this, me sat here talking into a camera, talking to myself. So if you want to give this video a like, if you want to subscribe to my channel, I'll get some more videos that should save you some time, money, energy and stress. I've just realised, I think I've got a potty mouth. I think I've got an issue around swearing, because I've just looked in my office and there's quite a few profanities. Behind me in all of my videos, you may have noticed this mirrored sign. It's like it happens. And then, because I do weddings in New York, I had this sent to me, which is actually the most hilarious thing ever. It's cross stitch, so I never thought cross stitch could be offensive. How wrong I was. So apologies if this video was too sweary for you. I haven't quite decided on how much I'm going to like bleep out or edit out yet. So sorry if it was too sweary. Sorry if it was not sweary enough. Let me know in the comments. Give us a subscribe, give us a like, and thanks again for watching. Bye!